It's just me. Calm down, calm down. Well, hello, everyone. This is Rocky Ventura with Intentionate, and I am excited to bring you part two of our class on goal setting. Just wanted to, well, a few updates here. Well, I was wearing the mask because it's Halloween in a few days, so thought I'd keep you on the spirit here. But no, we're gonna get straight to it because we got a lot of content to cover, and I'm trying to keep these videos about an hour long. Um, this one was a big one, right? I mean, you remember the goal setting, so I'm just gonna go over a few things that we covered in the first video. First, we talked about the importance of goal setting, right? Why would goal setting be important for you? I think we talked about a GPS system. Remember the GPS system? And a goal setting is it's like a GPS system. You want to go somewhere. One of the fastest ways to do it is to have the right tools. And if you have a GPS system with you, you can, if you know where you want to go, you can plug in, the address, that location, and it will get you straight to it. It'll find the fastest way. It'll tell you if there's traffic on the way there. It'll tell you what time you'll be there. And then, so what's the benefit of that, right? Like, what's the benefit of having, excuse me, what's the benefit of having that? Well, it can save you time, right? You're not going to be burning your energy. In this case, in the car, you're not going to be burning the gas. And then you're not going to be doing some wear and tear on the car, right? Well, for us, our bodies. And so, yeah, goal setting is extremely important. And that's why you want to do it. So that's what this class is about. In the first class, we just talked about the importance of goal setting, what it is. And then we also mentioned some things that are important to have while goal setting. And we talked about how important motivation plays a role in goal setting. And we mentioned that there's different kinds of motivation, right? And so let me open them up my notes here. So we have intrinsic motivation is where you just naturally motivated to do something. For instance, you go to a playground, you take a kid to a playground, you don't have to give them a reward or incentive to go play, right? They're going to play because they're just naturally want to go play, and that's fitting for their age group, and that's what they do, right? They go play. But as you get older, right? I know as I got older, I had to have a reward to go play. I know my kids want me to go play too, and I don't always want to play anymore like I used to when I was a little kid, right? I have to be naturally, or excuse me, I have to motivate myself inside. And so some of the things I do for myself, in this we call, there's two types of motivation that you can do. There's instrumental motivation, and then there's I forgot here. Can't read my writing. Oh, internal motivation. I'm sorry. So instrumental and internal. Instrumental is where you give yourself a reward. Say like, hey, I'm gonna give you $10 if you go do this, right? And now you have a motivation. Or you maybe you remember your parents telling you, if you don't do this, you're gonna be grounded. Or that's also a instrument of motivation. So you have a reward or you have a punishment to do or to not do something. And that's one way to motivate someone. But the other way when we can motivate is to do internal motivation. All right. The goal is we would love to be intrinsically motivated. But as we get older, a lot of those things that were easier for us to do, like playing in the playground, become a little bit harder. And so, but we can still internally motivate ourselves, right? And so, excuse me. Yeah, so we can still do some internal motivation that way. And the way you do that is by using your values, using your values that you have inside that internally motivate you. So, for instance, maybe I don't want to go play with my kids, right? Because I'm just not motivated to go. However, when I reach back into my internal values that I have, and that being family, legacy, right? How I want my kids to remember me, that's a value that I can hold on to and say, but I gotta go. It's something inside of me that's internally driving me to be motivated to go. And when I use this word motivation now, don't think of it like, yeah, I'm super hoorah, right? No. Motivation is whatever it's going to take to get the job done, right? Like to motive, a motive. You have a motive, right? That's what the root word of motivation is. It's a motive to do something. And you can have a motive that's rewards and punishment, right? Something you get or something you don't want to get, reward and punishment. Or you can have something that's just inside of your heart and in your mind, which we would call a value. All right. So if you have a value of family, you're going to do things like family trips, even though you might not want to go, you might be tired, but you value family, and that's why you're going to finish it. So, or go. Okay. So we talked about in goal setting, why it's important to goal set. It gets you from point A to point B faster. And then one other thing, not only does it get you there faster, but it exposes you to a lot more, right? I mean, you can get as creative as you want. You can put in your GPS, I want to go from the north side of town to the south side of town, or you can put, I want to go to a different town, or I want to go to a different state, or I want to go to a different country. Like, how creative do you want to get? You only have one life, right? So what do you want to put in your GPS? That's what goal setting is about. It's not just about the little goals, like whatever a little goal is for you. It's not just about little goals. It's about using this tool, this system, to do unimaginable things. Like you wanna lose a massive amount of weight. You wanna do you want to fix a relationship that you thought could never be fixed? Do you want to make 3 times as much as you're making, or retire at 6 times as much as you're making? Is it possible, right? Like, if whatever you make now, let's just say someone was making $10 an hour. Could you make $11 an hour? You would say, yeah, right? What if I said, could you make $20 an hour? Could you double that from 10 to 20? Well, you think you probably could, right? What if you doubled that? Could you make $40 an hour? Right? So from 20 to 40. And then what if you doubled that? Could you make $80 an hour? Right? And then what if you doubled that? Right? $160 an hour? I mean, we have like some professionals, right? They'll charge you like $100 an hour to do some. A mechanic might charge you $100 just to see the thing, and then another $100. And how? Because they learned a skill set, and so now they're able to kind of own how much they charge. So, and then could you double that from 160, and you double that, and then could you double that, right? And it keeps going on and on. Like, how much could you make if you set a goal and you said I wanted to make $300 an hour or something? I don't know. Could you do that? And I would argue that through goal setting, through this amazing tool that we're going to finish learning about today, that you can. And let me tell you, some of what we're going to learn today is going to fight some of those things that, even as I was saying, could you triple, quadruple your income? You probably were like, this is stupid. No. Some of the things I'm going to teach you today are going to combat some of those things that are going on in your head. I used to think that way too. Okay. And so let's get started. I'm really excited. I'm going to pull up this training here. Excuse me. And here we go. All right. I'm really excited. Yeah. Goal setting, goal setting. All right. Share screen. There we go. Okay. Turn off these subtitles here. And then we already saw this slide from last time, so no need to stick around. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's get introduced. If you have the participant guide, turn to page 26. That's where we will spend most of our time here. Let me make sure I'm turned there myself. Participant guide. 6. Sorry, I'm turning there right now. Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, this whole lesson will be based on page 26 through 30, okay? And we're going to be filling this out. Excuse me. So now let's talk about the 7-step. This is the resiliency training 7-step process. And we're going to go through each of them here. You see the first one, define your goal. The second one, know where you are right now. Well, let me go through them one at a time, actually. So here you go. Define your goal. When you think of defining your goal, you're talking about picking what it is that you want to do. Okay, this is probably the most important step of them all, right? Because without a goal, what's the point, right? So define a goal. And we talked about this in our last lesson. What is it that you want to do? And even just a few minutes ago, we were just talking about making more money, losing weight, getting your family back, or building a family. I mean, wow, sky's the limit, right? I'm just making random things up. Go on a cruise, go on a vacation of your dreams. Go, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And don't limit yourself. I remember I told you about this in the last lesson. Why do we do that? Why do we limit ourselves? Don't do that. Step one, define your goal and understand what it is you want to do. But here's where we're going to define it a little deeper, and we're going to actually put a name to it and a date to it. And so in this one, we call this the end state. What does the end look like for you? All right. So how is the end state going to be? All right. And here you're being very specific and you're defining that. All right. Number 2, know where you are right now. Yeah, right. That would be important, right? Just like a GPS, you put in the address of where you want to go. So now you know the end state. But what's it going to do right after that? It's going to tell you where you are right now. All right. And this is where we call energize. Okay. You're going to energize yourself to be able to get where you want to go, from where you are to where you want to go. And in that step, we're going to teach you how to energize. All right. Step number 3, decide what you need to develop. We call this priorities. There's going to be some natural things that come in the way, right? Like when you realize, oh, I got to get from point A to point B, but I got a little problem. I got this. Well, what are those things? And what are those things doing to you? And how are they affecting you? Well, we're going to talk about making priorities. Okay, step 4, make a plan for steady improvement. Okay, and once you have those priorities down, we're going to break those priorities into smaller chunks. So we'll call those priorities the big rocks, the big obstacles that are standing in your way. But now in step 4, we take those big rocks and we make them into smaller, manageable rocks that we can manage. And then we create steps to overcoming those. Okay. Step 5, pursue regular action. This is how we're going to build. And you can see here, steps 1 through 4, this is your planning phase. It's step 5 through 7, that's the action phase. And this is what we call WIN, okay? And I'll explain that acronym. What's important now is what we say. What's important now? What do I need to focus on like right now, okay? That's the action part, and you're gonna go ahead and tackle those things first. You can't do everything at the same time, right? They say how you eat an elephant, well, one bite at a time, right? Okay, so step 6, commit yourself completely. Now, this is where we teach you how to maintain your motivation, because eventually you're going to start burning out, you're going to lose it. And we're going to teach you how to refocus, how to bring it back, how to bring your mind back and stay on track to achieving your goals. Because the key to any goal setting process is consistency. So how do you maintain motivation? That's what we'll talk about there. And then finally, in step 7, we're going to teach you how to continually monitor your progress. Okay, if you don't know, say your goal is to lose weight and you're not monitoring that, then how do you know if you're doing good or not? And doing good in the direction you want to go will actually help build motivation for you, right? You get excited, and then all of a sudden you're going to want to stick to it because you're going to be like, oh, this plan is working. But you also need to know if things are not working. And this is the monitoring phase, help you get adjusted and get back on track. All right, so this completes that, and this is called the IPR, or the in-process review. So you're finding stages in your life or in your goal setting process that you can review. All right, we actually do this in the Army a lot, these internal process reviews. All right, so just a reminder, some things about goal setting, and these are the principles here, right? We talked about why goal setting is important, right? It goes enhance your performance. And think about it, it's not just, I want to lose weight or I want the extra money. It's not just that, is it? Like, you can apply this to at work. Like, say your boss gives you a task to do, big project maybe, you can apply this there. You can apply this towards, say you want to retire comfortably, whatever that word means to you. Maybe it's 60,000 a year. Maybe it's, whatever. What does that word mean to you? So goals enhance your performance. We talked about how motivation matters, right? And then you remember the six competencies of resiliency. This falls under the competency of regulation, right? It's the ability to regulate your life. And why do we say regulation matters? Because if it gets too hot, you want to learn how to cool down, right? If it gets too cold, you want to learn how to heat up. Self-regulation, when you can do that on your own, that actually helps to feed your resiliency. Okay, so goal setting is, man, I'm not happy with my life today. Well, you can do something about that. You don't have to feel like you're a victim, like life is happening to you. Right now, you can say life is happening for you because you're going to do something about it. You'll have the tools to do something about it. And so I hope that you can see how important goal setting can be in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and open up your practical exercises, and we're gonna go through each one. Okay, so if you look on your participant guide, you'll see on page 20 a practice example of how you would use this. But for those of you that don't have the participant guide, feel free to email me, rockyventura@outlook.com. That's ROCKIEVENTURA@outlook.com. And just put resiliency training, and then on the body of the email, just put the requesting slides or requesting practical exercises, and I'll send that to you. But if you don't want to do that step, just get a piece of paper down, and at the very top of it, put step 1 and put define your goal. And here we go. So we're going to define the goal. And if you have the practical exercise, you're going to see that there's a goal already set for us so that we can follow that and we can see how they went about completing their goal. Let me turn my page here real quick. Excuse me. It's been getting pretty, I don't know, like the weather's changing here in Korea, and I've always had like an asthma allergy cough. I've been so good, but ever since the weather's been changing, I've been getting this little cough back. So anyway, I got a little inhaler and stuff, and it's just not cool. That's all. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, so goal setting number 1. Let's define your goal. If you need to pause the video right now, then pause the video and really look back into that. What page was it? It was, where was it? Okay, so it was page 18 where we made a bucket list. Do you remember the bucket list that we created on our last training? Okay, and we said all the things we wanted to do, right? There were some examples here, and I'm looking at the book if you're wondering. Pay off all debts. That was literally is one of mine, okay? Pay off all debts. Here's one, get a graduate degree or bachelor's degree. Let's see here. They have $1 million in the bank as an example. Ooh, that'd be nice, right? See what I did there? I said it as a joke. It's serious though. You can really do that, and I know you can. I shouldn't have said it like that. Yeah, I'm not perfect here, and I'm not trying to be. I'm just sharing some real examples of how we do these things, right? Here they say go on a safari in Africa. So remember, we mentioned income, we mentioned dream vacations, we mentioned practical things. Here they says build a house, start a charity, teach my kids about their ancestors. So these are just some examples that the workbook practical exercise guide teaches you. But in our practical one that we're going to be doing, we're going to go with the one that says complete a half marathon. And you'll see on page 20 of your practical exercise guide that that's what they put. And so that's the model that we're going to follow. But I want you to use your model. Okay, so pause the video and go ahead and put define your goal. Underneath define your goal, write the word end state or outcome. Okay. And so it could be a short sentence. Here it says complete a half marathon. Okay. And then give yourself a suspense. When do you want to be completed by? Just like if you're in the GPS, right? If you needed to go somewhere, it would tell you how long it was going to get there. So it might say like 2 hours or something. And then you would know when you need to leave based on what time you need to be there, right? Okay, so what time do we need to be here for this complete a half marathon? According to our exercise here, it says no later than the 31st of December of the next year, okay? So we're going to have some time starting for the next year, starting today, and then 31st of December first. So we were in 2021 now, at the time of this video, 2021. They're saying no later than the 31st of December of the next year. All right, so that means they have until just 2022, 31st of December, to complete a half marathon. Now, why do you think it's important to define your goal? And then why do you think it's important to put a suspense on it? I want you to think about that. You probably already got some ideas in your mind, but let's talk about, well, we know why it's important to define the goal, but what about the suspense part? Huh? Complete a half marathon by the 31st of December of next year. Why is it important to put a date on it? Huh? Okay, so some of you probably said, because if we don't pull a date, it's not gonna like drive us to do anything, right? Yeah, right. When you have a date, all of a sudden you're like, oh man, it's like something about putting a suspense on things. Now, I don't want you to get intimidated by your suspense. I don't want you to take it lightly, but I don't want you to get intimidated by the suspense right now, because you're gonna see in phase 7, step 7, the IPR, right? The internal process review. You're gonna see that if you're gonna be checking to see if you're on track with your goal and if it's working for you. Excuse me, let me drink some water. I'm sorry, y'all. My throat is not good today. And then you're gonna see if it's working for you. Okay. So put a date. Make it realistic date. I mean, you don't want to say half marathon by tomorrow, right? I mean, that's not gonna happen, especially if you're not even running. Okay, but here they're using half marathon, complete a half marathon by no later than 31st of December. Okay, if you have the participant guide, you'll see on there, it says, pick 5 values. Let me read it verbatim. It says, internal motivation. Remember, we talked about internal. We all want intrinsic, but we're not always going to naturally be intrinsically motivated. So we have to build some internal motivation. All right, so below are some common values. Select approximately 5 values that have the greatest influence on how you live your life and choices you make on a daily basis. If you, excuse me, if you don't have the participant guide, then just think of 5 values that that make you live your life. Let me give you an example. If you're looking at the participant guide, one of those values that are checked are gratitude. Okay, they selected gratitude. They selected perseverance. Remember, okay, so they selected gratitude. They selected perseverance, like they're a person who perseveres. They're a person who likes to express gratitude. They live by these values now. They've got to be true to you. What is true to you? Do you live by, what values do you live by? Here they selected personal courage. They like to be like tough inside, and they like to make decisions even in the face of danger. So personal courage. Setting good example for my kids is what they put. That's a value for them. And then the last one that they selected was teamwork. Okay. I want you to pause this video and think of 5 values. Don't relate it to anything yet. Just think of 5 values that you live by. Okay. 5 values that you live by. And then just let that be. Just write it down. Okay, so put 5 values in that sheet of paper that you have or on your practical exercise. Pause the video now. I'm gonna get a drink of water and then we'll get started. Excuse me. Okay, hopefully you paused it, unpaused it. All right, now what you're gonna do with those values is you're gonna say how it will help you to achieve the goal that you put. So for instance, on our practical exercise here, they put gratitude. And here's what they wrote. I'll read it verbatim. I have friends and loved ones who passed away too young and can't pursue their goals. I'm grateful that I still have the opportunity. Okay. So when they think of completing a half marathon and they're searching for some internal motivation, they can think of the word gratitude, and then they can remind themselves, man, I have friends who have passed away and they can't even do these types of things. So look, I'm just grateful that I can complete these types of goals. I'm very grateful. That's what they're going to draw on because their value is gratitude. Their other value was perseverance. Let's see what they said here. I'm not a quitter. I work hard at whatever I put my mind to, and I am committed to doing the same with this goal. Remember, you're tying your value to this particular goal. In this case, they're trying to do a half marathon by 31 December. So whenever they feel like they're going to quit or they need some internal motivation, they can draw on that value of perseverance, and they can say, I'm not a quitter. I will complete this goal. Okay, remember, it's important because we live by our values now. Don't believe me? Go record yourself and then look at yourself and ask yourself, why'd you do that? There's something in your side of you, you're living by a value or some sort of habit or some sort of belief that you think about the world, and you're acting on those values and beliefs and habits. Okay. Okay. Personal courage. Excuse me. Here they said, I've never tried anything like this, so it's going to take me some bravery to share it with my friends and family and push through to the end. Yeah, would you say that? That because they have a value of personal courage, the way they're going to use that value is they're going to remind themselves, yeah, I'm being transparent. I've never done this before. But you know what? I value the value of personal courage. And so I'm going to use it. I'm going to draw upon that when it's time. Okay. Here, they said, setting good example for my kids. That's actually one of mine too. I like to set examples for my kids. I can't tell you how many things I've completed on the basis of that value alone. There are a lot of things I don't want to do, a lot of things, but I keep pushing myself because I'm thinking my kids are watching me. My kids are watching me. So here's what this person said. They said, let me bring this closer to me. I'm over here squinting my eyes and everything. Okay, here you go. They said, seeing this go through will demonstrate courage, perseverance, and other life lessons for my kids. It'll also make them proud of me. How'd you like that, right? You used to like, I remember I used to love getting praise from my parents. I really love it when I get it from my kids as well. It's kind of cool for them to think that I'm cool, right? Okay, and here's the last one they used was teamwork. And it says, even though it'll just be me out there on race day, because remember, they're going to run a half marathon, it'll take the support and sacrifice of my whole family to make this dream a reality. Ain't that the truth, right? As they're training, I mean, think about how many date nights he'll have to sacrifice, if any, with his spouse, or how many son or daughter dates that they'll sacrifice with their children. So yeah, it's going to take a teamwork to complete this goal. And so they're drawing on those values. Again, I hope that you took that one seriously. Step one was to define your goal. What is it that you want to do? And don't just say make money. You say something like make if you're a $30,000 a year person, by the end of next year, I want to make $40,000 a year. Feasible, right? Feasible. No later than the 31st of December of the next year. So say those things, challenge yourself, make it realistic, but don't make it too easy. You want to give yourself a good goal, give yourself a date, and then pull the values that you value and then tie them in. So that's your first sheet of paper. You're going to do that. Okay. Define your goal, know the outcome that you want and when you want it, date, and then go ahead and start tying those values into those. And I'm going to go ahead and turn to the next page here. All right. Oh, okay. I guess I was supposed to do that. Totally talked about this already. So again, you are more likely to achieve your goals when you are internally motivated. I think you know this. You got to have some internal motivation, okay? And so the internal motivation is going to come from your values and beliefs. Your values, what do you value? You're not going to want to succeed in a basket weaving contest and be first place at it if you don't value stuff like that, right? You don't value basket weaving. So you're not gonna really find joy in that. So it's got to be something you want, something that's gonna benefit you. Say giving your kids the best things in life is a value of yours. Okay, well then, so maybe setting a goal like another 10,000 annually or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe setting a goal like that would be good for you. Okay, it's got to be rooted in your values. It can't be I guess it can be, but it's just more realistic if you can relate it to your values. All right, so there it is. You got it. If you were using the participant guide, you had a set, there was like what, 20, 30, 40 values already there, and you can just put a check next to it. But if you're not using a participant guide, just make it up, put it in your mind. You know, here he put other, and he said, setting a good example for my kids. That wasn't on the participant guide. He actually wrote it in. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Again, pause the video if you need more time. All right, we're moving to step 2. And step 2, we're on page 21 of the participant guide. Again, this is already filled out, but if you want to start filling yours out, then that's on page 27. Okay, that's on page 27. If you want a blank one and start filling yours out, you can do that. All right. Okay, so step 2 is know where you are right now. And what's the key word for this one? Do you remember what the key word for this one is? Actually, pulling it up right now. Okay, so the key word for this one is energize. All right. You're going to now energize your goal. And the way we do that is by knowing where we are right now, knowing the obstacles, and then balancing that off with the benefits. So let's talk about this a little more. So to figure out where, well, the route to get to your goal, you need to understand where you're starting from. We already know this. Now, first, I want you to, on the exercise, on the left column, I want you to put a benefit. What would be the best things about achieving your goal? Here in our exercise, if we look on it, they said, excuse me, they said, I will receive a promotion points. This is a soldier writing this, and enhance my score. I will be eligible for more schools. I will have so much more energy because of my new level of fitness. So they want to complete a half marathon, and by doing this, there's extra benefits that will come out of it, right? They'll be able to pass the Army fitness test. My blood pressure and resting heart rate will go down. I'll feel great pride crossing the finish line. So these are some of the benefits they wrote. On your piece of paper, I want you to draw a line in the middle. On the left side, I want you to put benefits, and on the right side, obstacles. Of course, if you have the participant guide, then just follow along and write it there. But if you don't, if you just have notes, then I want you to get a blank sheet of paper for step 2 and put on there, know where you are right now at the top, the header, step 2. And this one's called Energize. And then I want you to create like a letter T, right? Or a cross. And on the left side of it, put benefits. On the right side, put obstacles. And then right now we're filling out all the benefits of achieving your goal. So if you're making, if you chose to make more money, maybe $10,000 more annually, what's the benefit of, what's the natural benefit of that? Making $10,000 additional annually, what could you do? Maybe you can take that trip you always wanted. You can feel comfortable taking out money. It'll help you pay your bills faster, get out of debt faster. So now you have more money freed up. Maybe your goal was to get out of debt, right? What's the benefits of that? Well, not having the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, right? Because you don't have nothing to pay for, except your living expenses. So, okay, so write down all the benefits, and then on the right side, this side's going to be equally important. What are the obstacles or personal behaviors that might hinder your progress? Okay. So here, remember, they're trying to complete a half. Oh, I'm sorry, I kept saying marathon. It's a Ironman, an iron, because I saw that first one that said I can't swim very well. So Ironman, in case you don't know, is a where you run, you bike, and you swim. So it's 3 events in one, and that's called an Ironman, and that's pretty exhausting. Wow, that's even tougher than just a running one, right? Um, okay. So the obstacles that this person's facing when doing completing a half marathon is, or Ironman, is I can't swim very well. They already know this is an obstacle. I haven't biked more than 5 miles at one time. Yeah, big obstacle, right? They're being truthful. They're being transparent. I think about quitting a lot when I run. Yeah, who's there, right? I need to develop a strategy to stop that. Fair enough. Look, see how transparent they are. They don't just hide behind it. I don't run. I don't feel like it. Right? They actually say, look, this is why I don't run, because I quit a lot. Like, I know I get tired. I need to develop a strategy. See how proactive they're being. I don't think enough. I don't drink enough water or eat very healthy diet. Okay, very well, right? Because where did that come from? Well, they probably know that they need some kind of nutrition. They're gonna need to drink some water. So they're already seen these obstacles ahead of time. And then I crave energy drinks a lot. So when it comes to eating healthy, I'm always drinking energy drinks after lunch, and and then I have a crash, and all that sugar in those drinks are making me gain weight. So there you go. When you're thinking of these areas, consider categories like physical, like for your goal now. What is it going to take? What kind of benefits and obstacles on the physical side? Benefits and obstacles on your mental and attitude wise? Benefits and obstacles in your values and beliefs? Benefits and obstacles in your support from others? What about your contacts and your networks? How are your benefits and obstacles going to be? What about your knowledge, your overall knowledge, your financial situation, your character strengths? And there's a lot of areas that you can consider when you're thinking about benefits and obstacles. But go ahead and pause the video now and write down all the benefits that you can think of from the one goal that you picked from your bucket list. Okay. And I'll see you when you get back. Okay, so hopefully you did do that. Hopefully you paused the video. And then we're gonna move on to oh yeah, okay. We're gonna move on to step 3 now. And step 3 is decide what you need to develop. Okay. All right, so you need to focus your efforts in the areas that will move you towards your goal. Okay. You got to focus your area on those efforts. And in this area, we called it priorities. All right. So go ahead in your notes on a new sheet of paper, put step 3, decide what you need to develop. And we call this area priorities, because these are where we're going to identify those big rocks in our way, AKA obstacles, right? We're going to identify the big rocks that are really in our way to achieving what we want in our lives. And based on the obstacles that we identified in step 2, these become our broad priority area, or our big rocks, if you will. Okay. So in the example of I want to run a half Ironman, this individual identified the obstacles in physical fitness. They identified obstacles in nutrition, right? They're going to have to start eating better. They identified attitude is going to play a role, right? Like, wait, when they get up to go start their training, I mean, they could put on the Rocky theme song all they want, right? Dun, 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 and they can do all that, but is it going to sustain? Is it realistic? So their attitude, what are they going to do about that with the negative attitude? Like, I don't want to run today. I don't want to run today. I mean, what do they say every New Year's? People set goal, and by March, I don't know, like 80 or something percent people already gave up on their goal. That's wild, right? I think a lot of it has to do with them not having a strategy to answer all of these big priorities, these big rocks. Balance in life, right? If they commit themselves only to doing this Ironman, what about their work priorities? What about their children? What about their spouse, their friends, and the other commitments? What about their, so having a balance, sleeping, you got to have balance. So here, this individual was very, very truthful with themselves. And they said, out of all the obstacles I listed on the other step 2, I summarized them in these big old rocks: physical fitness, nutrition, attitude, balance. So go ahead, pause the video for you, and do the same thing. Let's try to kind of group them into 4 blocks. All right, 2 to 4 blocks. You don't want like 5 or 6. I mean, you can, but too many will just be too many to tackle. Okay, so look at all your obstacles and see if you can find like a common trend. And maybe they are, a bunch are in physical fitness, so you call that one your first big rock, physical fitness. Maybe you saw nutrition, so you do that. Okay, so whatever goal you picked from your bucket list on step 1, and whatever obstacles you identified in step 2, now it's time to prioritize them and put them in big rocks. Pause the video and go ahead and do that, and I will see you on the next step. Okay, so now we're on step 4. Hopefully you did that exercise. Step 4 is we're gonna make a plan for steady improvement, okay? And in this one, we actually call this one SMART steps. SMART steps. So some of you may have remembered this from school. Maybe you learned this somewhere, but there's an acronym in goal setting that's pretty popular, and it's called SMART. And SMART is listed there on this PowerPoint. It basically says the S is for specific. You're specifically saying what you're going to do, right? It's measurable, meaning that you can determine whether or not you did it in some sort of measurement. Okay, so if I'm going to drink so many ounces of water, if I say the number like it's listed here, I drink at least 80 ounces of water a day. Right? So it's very specific. It's very specific. I drink, what do they drink? Water. How much water? 80 ounces. When? A day. 80 ounces of water a day. And it says the word at least, right? It's action focused. What are they doing? They're drinking water. It's realistic. I mean, 80 ounces of water is very, very realistic. Look, I don't know if you can see this here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, my little virtual background is in the way, but hey, this is 24 ounces. Okay, so basically drinking 4 of these a day, that's 100 ounces almost. All of a sudden I got thirsty, and definitely. But yeah, it's realistic, right? And they probably got that number from, you know, some what do they say, that you should drink your half your weight in water. And so I guess if they selected 80, well, 80 times 2 is 160. They probably weigh about 160 pounds, and that's probably where they got that from. It's not a made up number, it's realistic. So there you go, realistic for the R. And then it's time bound, right? They say a day. Okay, they didn't say, you know, I just drink 80 ounces of water. They say a day, then it's a time bound. Let's look at the other one. It says I eat 60% of lean carbs, 30% of healthy fats, and 10% of lean protein every day. Now, this person is serious, right? Again, they probably got that statistic from some resource where, or maybe they saw a nutritionist and that's what they recommended for an Ironman. Okay, so use the SMART goal process to find out answers for nutrition. So in nutrition, let's give you an example now. Let me make sure I'm turning to the page. We're going to, so those 4 blocks that you created, let me turn back, see those 4 blocks that you created. For the rest of this exercise, we're just going to hone in on nutrition. Now you're going to need to do these for all of them, right? But just for the point of this PowerPoint, we're just going to focus on the nutrition one. And what did they say in nutrition? Looking at the obstacles, it says, I don't drink enough water or eat every day a healthy diet. I don't eat a healthy diet. Okay, so that's how we're doing that. That's how they said, okay, that's a nutrition priority. Now, inside of that nutrition priority, they're talking about what are they going to eat and what are they going to drink. I drink at least 80% of water a day. They're answering the mail to that obstacle that they found. They're answering the mail to the water. They're answering the mail to the food. Now it's your turn. Pause the video. And for every single one of these, all right, and it gets time consuming. I know. But this is what it takes to get serious about your goal. No more games, no more I hope, I wish, why doesn't good things happen to me? I never have good luck. This is the luck right here. Okay, we are fabricating luck right here. We're making it. We're making it in our factory. We're making it. This is how you do it. You put a smart goal to it. All right. So be smart about it. So again, go back and identify those obstacles and what are your priorities. Inside of the priorities, make a smart action. Okay, create a smart action toward that priority or action statements as we call it. I drink at least 80% of water a day. So if that's your fitness, if your goal is to be more fit and you recognize you don't drink that, then now go ahead and put some action to it. So I will leave you to it. We are, if you're following along on the exercise, you see we're on page 22. It says create smart goals. And then we are focused on priority number 2, which was nutrition. And in priority number 2, you're writing action statements. So here's what they wrote. Well, you already see these two on the PowerPoint, but they also wrote, I drink a recovery drink after each long workout, 60 minutes or more. So they're going to drink a recovery. Again, they probably got that from a nutritionist or studying. They learned it. I drink no more than 2 8-ounce alcoholic beverages a week. Oof, that was a big one, right? I know some people might gotta have to work on that one, right? All right, so here they're not taking away the fun, but they're saying, look, I'm not gonna overindulge because I'm in training mode. I'm not gonna drink more than 2 8-ounce alcoholic beverages a week. Those are specific action statements they're saying they're doing. And here on this next line, you see where it says power statements. Okay, if you're following along page 22, but if not, here it is on the PowerPoint. On the next side, so under action statements, you're gonna answer the mail to everything in your priority. So if you're on the priority of nutrition, you're gonna answer the mail to that. All right, you're gonna put an action statement for each thing that will help you get on track with that. But now there's these things called power statements, and power statements are just a basic, easier way to remember all that stuff you wrote on the left side. So here, a power statement could sound like this. Remember, they said they're going to drink water, they're going to eat good food, they're not going to drink alcohol, excuse me, and they're going to drink recovery drinks. That's a lot of stuff, right? But in reality, do you always remember every single one of those? No. So what we do in resiliency training for goal setting is we create what we call power statements that help us remind the summary of our action statements. So for example, here, after they listed all those things in their action statements, in their power statements, they're saying, I expect great things out of my body, so I put only great things in. When they use that power statement, they will be reminded of all those other things they just listed. I will drink water. I will eat healthy foods. I'll do a recovery drink. I won't drink alcohol. That's power statement right there, says it all, right? I expect great things out of my body, right? There's the motivation. So I put only great things in. And next time, now that becomes your saying, I expect great things out of my body, so I put only great things in. And then when you get tempted, you go to a restaurant, someone invites you out to eat, let's have a few drinks, right? You say that statement, I expect great things out of my body, so I put only great things in. And then to get even more detailed, you can make a little smaller statement that just says, fuel the machine. Fuel the machine. Okay, so now you're making an even smaller statement. Maybe that line is too long for you. I expect great things out of my body, so I put on great things. I don't think it's that long, but in case that might be a little long for you, you can just add a little slogan there, and you can just say, fuel the machine. So when you wake up in the morning, fuel the machine. That reminds you to get water. When you're feeling hungry, you say, fuel the machine, and that reminds you to eat right. What was it? Eat 30% healthy fats, 10% lean proteins, 60% clean carbs. All you got to say is fuel the machine. And as you keep reminding yourself what those mean, it just that little slogan alone, fuel the machine, fuel the machine. Okay, so you're getting it now, right? Like it's hopefully that's helpful for you. Some slogans you may think of Nike. You remember Nike? Well, you know Nike, a big shoe store, right? What is theirs? Yeah, you probably know it. Just do it, right? Their slogan is just do it. But just do it means a lot to different people, right? It can mean go run, go running, stay healthy, change the world. I mean, that little slogan alone, talk about a power statement, right? Just do it. So create a power statement for you that's going to keep you on track. Okay. One of mine that I personally like to use, especially for my character, is God is good. Some of y'all who see my emails or see me post a lot on Facebook, go look at my post. Almost every single post at the very bottom says God is good. Even it sometimes like it's like that don't make sense that he would put it in that post like that. I could put a post about a movie, right? Like oh, I saw a movie, and then I'll just put at the end, God is good. Well, it's because it's about me. Like I'm just keeping myself in the zone of being a person of God. And I just like to personally remind myself of all the good things God does. So my power statement for my goal, which was to have a good, close relationship with my God, right? One of my things was that I forget God. That was an obstacle of mine, that sometimes I can forget God. So one of my action statements were, I will continually do things that remind me of God. Okay. So one of my power statements is God is good. So I will say God is good. So that's what I do in my emails, when I'm just running, when I feel like I'm tired, when my kids are getting mad, where I'm having a fallout with my kids or something, I'll say God is good. And all of a sudden, like that one phrase reminds me of, hey, I made a goal to keep my relationship strong with God, to keep that going. And I also identify that's an obstacle, that I let the world get in my way and I get distracted and I take my eyes off of God. So God is good. When I say that, bam, all these like, oh, it's like a punch in the face. A good punch though, right? It kind of wakes me up. God is good. So you see now the power of a power statement. All right. So maybe you want to get healthy. What if you say live long? Star Trek, right? Captain Spock used to say, what? Live long and prosper, right? So what is your slogan? Is it God is good? Is it live long? Fuel the machine? Anything you want, whatever it's going to take to tackle that priority. In this case, we're dealing with nutrition, but whatever your priority was based on the obstacles that you found, create a slogan to remind you. Pause the video, complete step 4. All right. Remember step 4, you got a new sheet of paper. On the left side, you put action statements. You wrote down all your action statements to answer the mail on your obstacles, your priorities. On the right side, you're just creating a power statement for the entire priority. If at the area of nutrition, your power statement was, I expect great things out of my body, so I will put only great things in. That covers that whole obstacle right there. Your slogan is fuel the machine. Fuel the machine. Okay. Hopefully, I know this is a really hard lesson to teach. Right? Honestly, it's one of the hardest ones to teach in the resiliency course. But if you can get this one down, I'm telling you, this is going to set the trend for you to start turning into being a strong, resilient person, because you're going to realize life doesn't have to happen to me. I can happen to life, right? You can do things for yourself to get you out of the slump that you're in, or to just to give you a better life, right? Okay, step 5. So you're starting to see now the power of this. And now remember the sample that we're following, this individual said, I want, my goal is to complete a half marathon no later than 31 December of next year. And they created a state, action statements for each of their priorities. Now, we already went over the nutrition one, right? And then notice at each of the bottom ones, at the bottom of each of their priorities is their power statement, right? So look at their action statement for physical fitness. They recognize that in order to do a half Ironman, they must run at least 5 miles twice a week and do a long run each weekend. Okay. They recognize they must swim because remember, it's running, it's swimming, it's biking. I will swim and bike every other day for at least 60 minutes. I ice my knees after every run. That's longer than 6 miles. If they run a long run, they're gonna ice their knees. I compete in at least one race every other month. Where are they getting this from? Hey, they're serious. They're looking at bloggers. They're looking at magazines, running magazines. They're looking at YouTube running channels, right? Like they're serious about this goal. So they're going to get advice from the people who have done it. You know, if you're trying to compete at half marathon, you don't want to go ask your neighbor who's extremely obese, or excuse me, I'm not making fun of them, but you don't want to ask someone who's obese. You know, why is it always that person too that's giving you the health advice, right? But you don't want to ask that person, right? That's chugging the beer, drinking the keg, and they're not there with you. They're just dishing out advice. They never done it. They heard it from somewhere. They don't know. Maybe a movie. No, they're getting serious, right? They're asking people about it. All right, check out. Okay, and then there's their action statement or the power statement. The finish line is just the beginning of a whole new race. All right, that's their power statement. The finish line is just the beginning one. All right, here you go with attitude. I practice confident self-talk deliberately at least 5 times a day. Wow, remember their obstacle was I'm gonna get negative. I'm gonna get sad. I'm gonna want to quit. I'm gonna say I can't. How are they answering the mail to that? I practice confident self-talk deliberately at least 5 times a day. Yeah, right? Like they already know this stuff is gonna come at them. So when they talk negative or think negative, what are they gonna do? Practice self-talk, positive. I tune into self-talk and fight back against negatives. Another one attacking that, okay? I spend 5 minutes 3 times a week seeing myself finish the race. Wow. I mean, when was the last time you did that with your goal? That you could see your $10,000 more a year in your hand, right? Or how you were going to spend it, you know, taking your kids out or buying them that thing you always said you couldn't afford. Like think about their eyes, how they're going to glisten, right? Or giving money to someone who can't afford something. And because you have a little bit more money, you can have more money to give, right? And just seeing the face like, wow, God used you to do great things. How about this? I remain optimistic by hunting the good stuff every day, even before bed or every evening before bed. Okay, there's actually a skill called hunt the good stuff. We're going to learn that next. But okay, here's their power statement for attitude. I am prepared. I am confident. I am capable. You know, for attitude, I like to teach my kids this one. I say, if I believe it, I can achieve it. Oh, actually, Mila. Let me see if she'll come. Okay. Mila. Call Mila real quick.
Hello.
Come here real quick.
Yeah.
This is my YouTube channel. Come here real quick.
What?
Can they see you? Oh, there you are. Scoot up. Right there. I think I'm getting. Okay, there you are. Now I want you to say, if I believe it. Say it.
If I believe it,
What's the rest?
I can achieve it.
Okay. If I have a plan, what do you say?
I know I can.
All right. So you see, these are action statements that I'm teaching the kids on how to fight attitude, right? Because we're always gonna be negative about things. And so you can actually do that. Was there another one? What was the other one? I believe it, I can achieve it. If I have a plan, I know I can.
If you got John,
Just call your mama. That's our joking one. Don't say that one. No, okay, you can say that one, but that was the joke one. But what was the other one? It was okay. Oh, if I think no. If I make a plan,
I know I can.
There you go. That was the other one. If I make a plan, I know I can. Okay, so yeah, and then we have a joking one, right? If you got drama,
It's call your
just
mama.
call your mama. Don't call daddy. Okay, you can go now. I'm gonna finish recording, okay?
Okay,
I
bye.
love you. All right, so I debuted my youngest child there in these videos. I think that's the first time I've had them on my videos. Okay, but you'll see. Maybe I'll call more of them here because that's my youngest one. She's what, 7? She's known that saying since as early as she can talk. And this is what we're doing, right? We're creating attitude statements, our ways. We're creating power statements to fight our actions, our negative obstacles. All right, let me get water. I'm not gonna go over nutrition and balance. We already went over nutrition, but balance. Okay, I'll go over balance real quick only because it's so important. So here they recognize that their obstacles was I'm not a good sleeper, or my body's gonna be tired. So here they're saying I have an average of 7 hours of sleep a night and go to bed no later than 2200. That's 10 p.m. For non-military people. I plan at least one date night a month with my spouse. We're in the area of balance, right? Balance is just not about you, it's about everybody else. Like while you're training for this Ironman, you're not there with your family. So they're saying, you know what, that's going to cause tension. So let me be proactive, right? Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So don't let life happen to you. Get ahead of this by planning. You already know if you're planning for an Iron Marathon, your spouse is going to be like, where are you at? And what are you going to say? Oh, you don't care about me? You don't care about my goals, right? Come on, it's your spouse. You know that they're going to need some loving too, right? So get ahead of that. It's an obstacle this person identified. Just get ahead of it. I do at least one date night a month. My thing with me and Priscilla, we do at least one date a week. But I can tell you we do more than that. In fact, I just came from one right now. We went to this really good Indian restaurant. I wouldn't put it under the nutrition side, but it was really good. Okay, so I practice deliberate breathing 10 minutes a day. Why would they put breathing on there? Because they recognize that breathing is a part of in yoga, there are a lot of studies that show that breathing helps you bring focus and balance into your mind. And then I make myself 100% mentally present in whatever I do, whatever I'm doing. All right, so here's where their statement, power statement was: I draw strength from the other areas of my life and must give them attention too. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the example of what big rocks look like. Here, what are the big rocks? The physical fitness, the attitude, the nutrition and balance. Where did these big rocks come from? From the obstacles that you identified in number 2. Obstacles to what? To the goal that you identified in step 1. You get it? So you're starting to see how all the steps come on each other or follow each other. So now all of those fall under the plan category. Okay. So all of that 1 through 4 is the planning phase. Now we're going to move into the action phase. This is all planning. We haven't even done the stuff yet, right? Now we're going to start doing our goal. Now we're actually going to, now that we got a plan, now that we got a strategy, we're going to see how we can take action and sustain the action and monitor the action. Excuse me. I'll tell you this cough. All right. Getting my 80 ounces of water today, right? All right. So step 5, pursue regular action. All right. So this part is where you actually, you identify an action statement to complete tomorrow. So look, you probably created a lot of action statements. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. The thing with goals is people will set them and then there's just so much to do. They get so overwhelmed that they'll start and be like, this is too much. This is ridiculous. You need to do a process that gives you a few wins, right? A few wins. Because so if you have a few wins, you can drop that into the piggy bank of success. And you drop a few pennies in there, you ain't gonna see much the first few days. But if you're consistent with it, even if you're dropping pennies now, that jar is going to fill up and add some value to that piggy bank over a consistent amount of time. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about pursue regular action. I want you to look back and I want you to look at, excuse me, each of your priorities and then ask yourself, okay, which one or two from all the action statements I created in my priorities. So say we're taking the priority of nutrition, okay? We're taking the priority of nutrition and we're gonna just pick one of those actions. So in one of those actions, what was it? Drink at least 80 ounces of water. That's what we said in one of the actions. Okay. Can you do that? Can you take one of those from that nutrition one and commit, start there. You don't have to commit to all of them right now. In fact, do not do it. You're going to set yourself up for failure. But commit to drinking 80 ounces of water if that's your goal. In fact, studies recommend you should be doing that anyway, half your body weight, right? Commit to saying, I will drink 80 ounces of water a day. That's it. No going to the gym yet. No, you have nothing else. Right now, we're just on the area of nutrition, not the gym yet, or, or whatever. Right now, we're just on the area of nutrition. In the area of nutrition, you're only going to pick one action statement. And I want you to commit to that. I mean, relentlessly commit to that. Put it on your calendar if you can. Hey, check this out. Where's oh man, where did I put it? Okay, here you go. No, never mind. All right, well, what I was going to do is I was going to get my phone and tell Siri. Oh yeah, here it is. Hey Siri. Set a time tomorrow at 6 a.m. to remind me to drink water.
Okay, your reminder is set for tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Bam. You see how easy that was? And that's why they have this iPad icon here. Whatever it is you do, whether you're going to put it on your wall, whether you're going to use your phone, whatever. Just do it, right? Do a time and say, okay, since you got to drink 80 ounces of water a day, maybe you break that up hourly, okay? So you can even tell Siri, hey, Siri, remind me every hour on the hour to drink, 10 ounces of water? Okay, 10 ounces of water. A typical Coca-Cola can or something, a soda, 12 ounces? So, maybe in that period, you do that. And so in 8 hours, in an 8-hour day, you will have drank, right, is that right? 10 ounces. Yeah, 80 times. Yeah, there you go. I told you I wasn't good at math. I think on one of these lessons, I said math was not my strong suit. So, all right, so identify a power statement to use tomorrow to motivate you to do that. All right. So you're gonna when Siri reminds you, hey, drink water. That's right, Siri. I expect great things out of my body, so I only put great things in. That's how this works, right? All right. And so describe the system that you're going to use. Maybe it's Siri, maybe it's a to-do list, but make sure that you are revisiting it every night. And that's what this one's about. Okay. That's what this one's about. So in step 5 of your practical exercise guide, we're following step 20. We're on page 23, but of course, you have the blank pages on page 29. I want you to go ahead and do that. Here it says with your partner. You should have a partner. If you can do this with a partner, great, but prepare for putting your goal plan into action. Action statements complete in the next 24 hours. This is something that you're going to do in the next 24 hours, okay? So drink at least 80 ounces of water. Remember, this one was from the nutrition one. I want you to pick at least one thing from each of your priorities. So in nutrition, it was water. Let's see. In fitness, what can you do? I run at least 5 times a week. Okay, so maybe you can commit to doing that. Where are you going to put that run in 5 times a week? Okay. In attitude, I practice confident self-talk deliberately at least 5 times a day. Okay, so where are you going to do that? 5 times a day. So maybe you can do one in the morning. Tell Siri to remind you. Another one at noon, or so you got to put these in there and tell yourself when you're going to do them. Okay. life has gotten so much easier now with technology. You can have these reminders come up and do them for you. Hey, remind me to remind me to give myself positive self-talk, right? Seriously, gonna be like, what? Okay, so all right, so you're getting the hang of it. I just want you to pick one action statement and put a plan for it. Remind yourself of the power statement you're going to say. And then here it says, what is your strategy or system to use to implement your smart actions regularly? Here they put, I'll focus on the nutrition priority, selecting one item a day to put on my list of my to-do list until it becomes routine. And that's the key. Keep doing this every single night until it becomes a routine. What else? Then I'll layer on actions from another priority area. Okay, so the goal is to one priority, one action, and then keep layering them on. All right, all of these got to get on there somehow. Okay, when you feel comfortable, go ahead and say, all right, it's time for me to add another one. Now it's time for me to add this one and this one, and just keep doing it until you get very comfortable doing it. Any questions on this one? I like this one. It's making it a little bit more real now, but still giving you that pace you need. Take your time. This is the longest phase, in my opinion, because this can make you or break you here, right? If you do too much, you're gonna lose motivation. You're gonna lose steam. So take your time. Do this one right. There's no rush. Okay, take your time. One go at a time. Let's start with the water. All right. Hey, I'm gonna keep doing it right now. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Oh, and by the way, that last one was the acronym was called WIN. Okay, so in there or that little short word for the goal there, step 5, we call it WIN, which is what's important now. Focus on what is important now. What do you need to set yourself up for success? Okay, and attack that action first. All right. So step 6, the key word here is maintain motivation. Develop a strategy to ensure you stay motivated and don't lose sight or give up on your goal. Don't lose sight or give up on your goal. So here it says, create a strategy that will, sorry about that. It says, create a strategy that will keep your goal in the forefront of your mind. Maybe this looks like you're posting a picture of someone who looks like they completed an Ironman. Okay, think of someone at that someone. If it's someone close to you, great. Maybe it's an uncle, a cousin, or a friend, right? Someone that can remind you of what it's like to complete an Ironman. Get a picture there and put it on your mirror. Put it in your fridge, right? Especially your fridge, because when you're gonna grab something, you're gonna grab junk food, you can do it. Put it on your car. Hey, put it inside of your wallet, right? Maybe it's your home screen picture on your phone. I'm serious when I say that. Like, put it everywhere. Then name at least one person you can share your goal with and keep you motivated. This is another important part, because sometimes we keep our goals to ourselves and maybe we're afraid to get called out. But that's probably not a bad thing, right? If we say we want our goal as much as we say we do, why not ask your spouse or your partner or your your children or a friend to keep you accountable? Don't you want it? You said it's on your bucket list. You really want to do it, right? So why not ask for help? So get people to help you stay accountable. And then plan to sustain your commitment in the face of an expected obstacle. So finish drinking water is the example they have here. Finish drinking water bottle and refill when I crave an energy drink. These are things you can do. And so, so I try to drink one of these. So I drink 4 of these, right? So I aim for 100 ounces a day. And my goal is to drink 4 of these. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the mid-evening, when I'm getting off of work around between 4 and 7. And then that last one, I kind of slack off sometimes because I don't like to go to the restroom at night a lot, but I still fill it up just in case I get the urge or get thirsty. I have it there. Plus, I like to wake up to one of these in the morning. First thing I do is chug a whole 24 ounce. I'll chug it. I don't, again, I read that. It said if you wake up and fuel your body with water, it's very healthy for you. And that's what I do. Okay, so these are some ways that you can commit yourself. So on step 6, here's what I want you to do for the exercise. With your partner, develop a strategy for maintaining your motivation. So here, strategy to stage my surroundings to automatically trigger pursuit of my goal. So go ahead and list out the things that you're going to do based on your goal that you picked. All right, if it was make an extra 10,000, maybe you can put a money sign there, or you can put a picture with a family going on a vacation because now you can afford that vacation. You can do things that remind you of that. So put the picture. What are you gonna do? Write it in your journal. All right. Then write the person that's gonna help you to keep you accountable. Is it your kids? Is it your spouse or your partner? Who is it? Who's gonna help you keep you accountable? Write their name in there. And then it says, when and then write the obstacle you're gonna be facing. So here their obstacle was they crave energy drinks. So here it says, when I ... am craving an energy drink, insert your obstacle. Then I will, action statement, ... finish drinking from my water bottle and immediately refill it when it becomes empty. Okay, so there you go. These are things you're going to do when you already know something's gonna happen. All right, so like say you and your kids fight all the time and you don't like that. You want a better relationship, but you've just developed this habit of always fighting with them. And so you can say something like, your obstacle might be, that you respond back in a negative way and you can't help it. It's just something inside of you. So now you want to change that habit, right? So you might say something like, when I get angry with my kids, obstacle, ... then I will, action statement, say God is good. And I literally do that. I say God is good. Again, God is good is my thing there. Because why do I say God is good? Because I recognize, according to my faith, that I'm a sinner. And if they're doing something, my kids are getting mad, they're kind of sinning too, right? They're, according to the 10 commandments, they're breaking a command to honor thy mother, thy father. And so I recognize they're in sin, but I am also a sinner. And so one of the phrases I say is God is good, because it helps me refocus to remind myself I'm not any better than they are, right? And so it kind of puts me on a level playing field. And now I can be like, you know what, we're both sinners. And it just kind of puts me in a zone where I can have a little bit more grace than where I pull the parent card all the time. You don't talk to me like that. I pull the authority card. That was such an easy card to pull, but if you really want to be a leader and have influence on your kids, and lead with love and grace, okay? Any questions on this one? Commit yourself completely. Again, this, this one was called maintain motivation. Okay. And then last step here. Until you reach your goal, you'll need constant deliberate effort to ensure your progress. All right, ain't that true, right? Like you're not there until you're there, right? And even when you put in the GPS and you have the route, you know where you're going and you're driving, a lot of things happen, right? You get a flat, you get traffic, unexpected traffic that the GPS might not pick up because it just happened like at that second. A lot of things can happen on the way. And so now you need to kind of recalibrate. You kind of maybe need a GPS, tell it to take another route, even if it's not on the main route, or maybe it'll get you there faster. So you need to do this, and you need to first determine like how often do you want to check in on yourself? And I would say it's based on your goal, right? Like say your goal is to lose 2 pounds a month, right? So at the end of the year, you lost 10 to 12 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds. Well, checking yourself at the end of the year might not do it, right? You probably need to check yourself once a month because that was your goal. Maybe once a week. If you got a monthly goal, be breaking it down like that. So be realistic to your goal setting process. Put a time frame that's realistic for you. Pause the video, make sure you're doing these steps here now. But go ahead and pick a time for you. Identify the date of your first check-in. Okay, when are you going to do that? Put that on your calendar and say, Siri, remind me to jump on the scale on the 15th of November, right? And then bam, Siri comes up. Hey, you told yourself you were going to do it. And then brainstorm how you will leverage one of your values when you face an unexpected obstacle. So say you jumped on that scale and you actually gained 5 pounds. What are you going to do? Well, remember we had put a bunch of values in there, and one of them was set an example for my kids. Now, if you invested in your kids and you told your kids, hold me accountable, please, to commit. Remember, in the last step, we invited our kids to hold ourselves accountable, and we told them how. Well, now, say you jumped on that scale and you were 5 pounds more than you should be. You should have been 2 pounds less, but you're 5 pounds more. All right. Rather than say, I can't do this, this is not for me, right? You're going to say, I can't quit. My kids are looking at me. Why? Because you said your value in step 1, that your value was, I want to be an example for my kids. So now you are internally motivated. You see how this works? You're internally motivated to grab onto something and hold tight. And trust me, you're going to be holding tight because you gained 5 pounds. I've been there. That's why I was telling you this with the way I'm saying that. You hold on tight to that value and you say, it's okay. It's okay. I just readjust and still my goal is to lose 10 pounds. Yeah, I might be 5 pounds behind, but my goal is still to lose 2 pounds a month. Okay. Don't try to say, well, now I got to combine it and lose 10 pounds and 20 pounds. No, don't do that. Just stick to the plan. You said you were going to lose those 3 pounds. Let's get back on track and lose those 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. Okay. Don't make it harder for yourself. Right now, you just want to develop a habit. You want to get in that mode. So this is what the IPR process does. So on page 23 is the example. But if you're actually using the process here, it's actually page 29. Step 7, continually monitor your progress. This is what it'll look like. It says, how often will I check in? You can write that on your notes if you don't have it. How often will I check in? Every 30 days is what this person said for their Ironman. Their first check-in date will be the 1st of the month, okay? So every 30 days, they're going to do that. And starting on the 1st of the month, they're going to do that. When I face unexpected obstacle, then I will leverage my value of, here they have setting a good example for my kids. So say they're not on track. They're not doing what they said they were supposed to do from step 6, from all the steps from the previous. They're not doing those things. If they get negative news, they're going to remember, it's okay. I'm not going to quit because I'm going to hold on to my value of setting a good example for my kids. And what action are you going to do? What power statement are you going to say? Well, here their power statement was, when I face unexpected obstacles, and I will leverage my value of setting a good example for my kids by developing at least 2 possible solutions that demonstrate they can learn from setbacks rather than fear them. So exactly, the kids saw that they didn't make their goal. Now you can go talk to your kids and say, hey, I didn't meet my goal, but you know what? Daddy's not going to quit. He's going to keep on going. It's okay. This is real life. It happens, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? It's coming around and, like things happen. But imagine the lesson that you can teach your kids to say it's okay to fail and they don't have to be ashamed. And then you can be that example that you failed and they're looking at you not quit and they're looking at your work ethic. Imagine the wow, the gold that you're pouring into them, right? What you're teaching them because of the lifestyle that you choose to live. Okay. That was step 7. So this completes the goal setting steps. What did you think? Huh? What'd you think? It's pretty good, right? Very detailed. This is a long video. This lesson is one of the longer ones that we're gonna go through here in the MRT, and hopefully I didn't bore you with it. But I really do hope that you followed along, that you did the exercises. There's a lot of value in these steps. Write these down, start setting them, start doing them. And then look for things that can help you. Okay, there's goal setting apps out there. They may steer from the way that we do it here. We do a 7-step process, very detailed. Some of them go easy, some of them go more detailed. But create a plan. We're recommending that you do this one. So what did you learn about this exercise? What step did you find most difficult? Man, my voice is getting dried up. Excuse me. And then what did you find most challenging about coaching your partner to use this skill? If you had a partner, if you didn't, don't worry about it. But try to do this next time. Or if you didn't do the things and you just watched the video, but then you're going to go back and do it, then do it. Okay. But I do recommend you try doing it with a partner. It'll give you that accountability aspect that you're looking for. And be kind to yourself when you do this process, okay? I can almost guarantee that you're going to fail and you're not going to get it right the first time, especially when you're starting to take the action part. The planning phase takes a while, but it's the easier part, right? It's the action that's gonna, that's where the rubber meets the road. So be kind to yourself. Get some support from people, leverage them, and believe in yourself. All right. No more negative thoughts. No more. You're going to get there. You're going to lose that weight. You're going to make that money you say you want to make. You're going to finish that degree. You're going to build those relationships that you say you want. You're going to grow closer to God. Whatever your goal was, it's going to happen. All right. As my daughter said earlier, if I believe it, I can achieve it. Right. If I have a plan, I know I can. Oh, I remember the other one now. If it's to be, it's up to me. Right. I can't believe we forgot that one. We just said it the other day. So those are the things we say, little power statements like that. If it's to be, it's up to me. If I have a plan, I know I can. If I believe it, I can achieve it. And then of course, my favorite all-time one, God is good. God is good. I don't have nothing to be ashamed of, negative of. God is just so, so good to me. And, when I say that, it's just something about it that just brings me balance in life to say God is good. And that's why I say that power statement. All right. So how are you going to implement goal setting into your life? It says to go to page 32. Let me see what that is. I don't remember. Excuse me. Page 32. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the debrief. Yeah, that's the last page, actually. So how are you going to implement goal setting into your life? Go ahead and write it down there. If you got the exercise book, write it down. How are you going to implement goal setting into your life? How will you use goal setting to increase your performance? All right. So what is it that you want to improve in? Your health, your income, your, spiritual life. And then how we use goal setting as a leader, as a family member, to build strong relationship with your kids. These things can be accomplished, and they're through these tools right here. Don't say life, that always happens to me. Oh, of course. Oh, just my luck. Don't say those things. You have a little bit more control than you give yourself credit, but it's going to take a little bit of work. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work. Okay. But you do have control. You can get the things you want in life. All right. Whatever you got in mind, you can do them. All right. Now, I take it a little step further, and I say everything starts with God. And here's my take on it. You don't have to buy in on this, but my take on this is, I have enough. But it'd be really cool, right? That when I have, if I had more, I can give more too. But even now I give what I have, right? I give what I have. I love giving. There's just something about giving. I'm giving my time in these videos, giving money, giving your time to cut someone's yard who can't do it. Like, have you ever experienced a giving experience? There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And goal setting allows you to do things like that, because maybe your goal is, I don't have time to do those things and I want to. So now you just have a goal. Now you have a goal. And you can say, how can I free up time? You know, how can I free up time? So these are things that you can do through the amazing tool that I believe God gave us, is goal setting. All right, goal setting. So anyways, I hope that you found joy in this lesson. It's one of my favorite. It's one of the hardest ones to teach. And these are ones that I prefer to teach in person. Video is hard because it's hard to stick through it all, and you get bored and you start getting distracted. You're probably playing with your phone. You're probably, you know, it's hard. If I was with you in person, I would gladly show you how to do these exercises. And please, by the way, email me, call me. You know, I would love to do personal training with you and do this one-on-one with you if you need the help. But that's what these videos are for, though. My hope is that I can extend my influence so that the time, I'm balancing my time, right? If I'm always with you and 1,000 of you, right, like I'm not gonna be in my family. So I make these videos to kind of add value to you and replicate myself in an on-demand type of way to do that. These are strategies that have worked for me, and I'm very thankful the Army created this program. Resiliency is what it's about, right? And so in closing, I hope that you see the value of that. Resiliency helps you with self-regulation. Again, self-regulation is one of 6 Army competencies, or Army resilience competencies. In order to be resilient, you have to have those 6 competencies. And how do you strengthen those competencies? In this, specifically in the area of self-regulation, goal setting can do that. Remember, self-regulation, to make the room hot, to make the room cold, to make your mind hot, cold, like to make yourself work in your favor, you self-regulate. So instead of always feeling the victim, like life is happening to me, you can say, no, life's not happening to me. I just got to self-regulate a little bit and I can make things happen in life. That's how this one is supposed to work and make you more resilient. Okay. All right. Well, what's the skill we learned today? We learned goal setting is a process to deliberately energize, direct, and sustain your own behavior to ensure progress. When do I use it? We use goal setting whenever you want, right? To establish a plan or to achieve its success. And of course, how do you use it? Well, we just went through that whole thing, didn't we? 7-step process. So, hey, that's all I got for you today. I hope this lesson was valuable. Again, if you want the participant guide that we're going through, you can email me, you can give me a call, shoot me a text. Otherwise, you can just get a sheet of paper and write down things that we're doing. Okay. You can re-watch these videos. Just don't duplicate them or anything like that. This belongs to the Army. This is meant for Department of Defense personnel and their family members to enhance resiliency. So I hope it'll enhance your resiliency. I hope you liked it. I got to get some water and make my throat a little bit more resilient because it's dying out. But okay, that's all I got. Take care. I appreciate you taking the time with me. Don't forget, intention it. Add intention to it. See you later. Bye. Oh, okay. No. See you later.